Greetings and welcome to this week's episode of UC Weekly News. I'm your host, David Danto, and we're here in Florida, Fort Lauderdale to be exact, at the 25th anniversary of the ITExpo show. I'm going to be moderating a panel in the Future of Work session that John Arnold is running that track, and I'll be talking about the future of endpoints. And I'll show you a little bit of the show, and we'll see who we run into and who we can have a conversation with. So stay with us. I'll see you in a bit.
Thank you. We are going to get started now. This is, make sure you're in the right place, right? Future of Work Expo. I see quite a few familiar faces both there and here, which is a good sign. So if you don't know, my name is John Arnold, and I'm the chair of this event. So this is kind of my show, and this is our 6th year doing it. And for those who were here last year, we were in a different room down the hallway. So this is a good sign. We're actually in a bigger, better, probably better lit room as well. So that's a good sign. And so thank you all for coming.
So joining me now is, how do I describe you? Analyst extraordinaire, influencer, everything?
I don't know. Content creator these days, that's the buzz word when you do a lot of podcasting and live streaming. So whatever you want to call me, Dave, I'll take it.
Introduce yourself.
Evan Kirstel, longtime industry expert, content creator, and lunatic social media fanatic. That might be the best description.
So have you been to the show before?
I've been many years, yes. Us old guys, we go way back in everything. So Enterprise Connect, ITExpo, all the places, yes. Tens of years.
What do you get out of ITExpo?
Besides cash, no. Besides great connections, reconnecting with people like you, Dave, and meeting with clients and partners and potential clients and learning and education, all that stuff, but not in that particular order.
What do you think of the top 2 or top 3 stories that are going to come out of this show in the next couple of this year?
Well, it's, Gen AI everywhere, all at once, all the time, whatever the movie was. We're in an AI boomlet. Those of us who remember the dot-com boom, it didn't end well. So hopefully there's a better ending at the end of this story. But yes, AI everywhere. And spatial computing is kind of interesting now with the Apple Vision Pro and other devices, collaboration in those environments. So those two keep me interested.
What are you looking forward to for Enterprise Connect next month?
God, is it next month already? Another one that goes back 15 years. New entrants, I'm always excited to see new blood, fresh blood in this industry. The hyperscalers are seriously in enterprise tech now, so they'll all be there, Google and Amazon, Azure. So I'm always interested in what they're doing because, ecosystems and platforms are kind of king now.
All right, so you do so much on so many platforms. Give us a rundown of where people can find you and what the kind of things are that you're working on if anybody wants to reach you.
Yeah, LinkedIn, has become a great content engine. Actually, YouTube, I put a lot of energy into YouTube as a YouTuber, I guess, streamer. I'm a little old for that, but I'll take it. Of course, Twitter. I still call it Twitter. I refuse to use that word, letter X. Reddit, Quora, Facebook, Instagram. Can I keep going? There are other platforms.
But what are the kinds of things you do on there?
I love interviewing thought leaders and executive C-suite, entrepreneurs. So I love that interaction and meeting people in a streaming, podcasting format. So if you're looking to come on the show, send me an email, and I'll definitely take a look. Always looking for guests. It's Kirstel at gmail.com.
Spell it.
Kirstel.
From the 3 people. But with our technology, you won't see that. What you'll see is the aperture. So they are sitting in the same conference room, and everyone now becomes a box on the screen, which means that we've equalized it. So that collaboration now becomes inclusive. It's not like, 3 people are sitting in one space, everybody's got an equal amount of space. And so we can do that for at least about 6 or 7 people in the conference room, and we're going to take the technology to the next level.
Okay, so we're here with the guy that's running the entire Future of Work segment here, John Arnold. John, say hi to everybody. Tell everyone who you are and what you do in the industry.
Cool. Thank you, David. Yes. Hello, everybody. And I am John Arnold. I'm an independent tech analyst. I go by the trade name J. Arnold Associates, and I've been out doing this for almost 20 years as an independent. It's been a long time. We're a small fraternity who have been doing this for ages. And one of the hats that I wear, aside from analyst hat, is show producer programmer. I've been doing this for a very long time, and Future Work Expo is the event that I really spend the most time being involved with. So I'm the chair of this event. I do all of the programming and setting up all the recruitment of speakers and finding moderators and developing the program. And so we've been doing this for 6 years now, and we've built a pretty steady following. And I say that, David, because the speakers all pretty much want to come back, and we see a lot of the attendees coming back. So that tells us we're onto something. And future work is a topic that never ends, right? It just keeps
Well, that was
going.
actually what I wanted to ask you. If you were to define this, how would you describe the Future of Work Expo, and what does it cover?
Yeah, the lens I use for it is how technologies are shaping workplace as we go into the digital age. So to me, the underlying thing is digital transformation kind of hits everything. And AI is just the latest variation of that, but it's really as the workplace and the whole world goes from analog to digital, it changes everything the way we do things. So it's all the questions of who, why, what, where, how of work. How do we define it? What do you define a worker? Where they do it, when they do it, all these things we've been living with, right? That work from anywhere concept. But it's more than that, right? It's thinking about what is the impact going to have on HR for hiring practices, for corporate real estate, for the space you need to have. The endpoints that you use to engage, how do you create a good virtual experience that is, as good as being in the office? So there's all these angles to consider, right? The role, the virtual, the immersive technologies with but the immersive tech when you get into things like metaverse, right? And using these virtual modes of working, that hasn't caught on yet, but it's coming, right? And the same thing for security, because as I said, when you go from analog to digital, everything becomes data. Now it's multiple data streams that organizations have to manage. So IT has to do a much better job keeping on top of that, keeping it secure, and finding ways to make it accessible and valuable to organizations. So future work is much more than just what we do sitting at desks or being in Zoom meetings, right?
How much ahead do you think about it, like for next year's show? Are you already starting to think about where the themes might change and what might be different, or are you kind of wait until later in the year?
I would wait till later in the year. I find over the last 3 or 4 years, most of the themes have been the same, but they're tweaked a lot. Like, for example, last year we talked about ChatGPT for AI. Well, that was last year's trend. Now it's large language models. That's the kind of acronym du jour. So, AI, you got to talk about AI, but we got to talk about what's happening now, right, and throughout the year. So, LLMs would be the big thing now that I think people need to understand and how it impacts the way we work, right? So there's so many angles to this, and because we run within the ITExpo umbrella, the programming we do here, we kind of have to conform to their overall schedule, which means I could easily have another 5 or 6 sessions in this program, but there's nowhere to put them. I only have limited time slots, so I would, when you talk about thinking ahead to next year, yeah, I would think of ways, can we expand this programming format here, because there's a lot to talk about and people are coming, and it's a viable event now.
Tell us the answer to two questions. If somebody wants to know more about IT Expo for next year, or if somebody wants to know more about J. Arnold Associates, what you're doing, how do you suggest they find information and reach out to you?
Sure. I think for ITExpo, I'm very friendly with their leadership guys, the people who put everything together. You can contact them directly, but you'll probably get there a lot faster if you drop me an email, because I know exactly who the players are and what the angles are for what you're looking for. For myself, so everything I do is public. My website is the kind of the starting point, which is jarnoldassociates.com. And once you get there, you'll see what I do as an analyst. Basically provide thought leadership for vendors, and I share most everything that I do. So I have a monthly podcast, a monthly newsletter, a blog that's been running almost 20 years. So there's a lot I provide on the site you can see and read for all these interesting topics, because they're all connected, right? There's so much to cover. And as we know, David, we've been doing this a long time. You can only cover so much stuff. right? So you have to put a box around it and just manage that and say, okay, I'm good at these things. Don't talk to me about wireless infrastructure. I don't do that. There's only so many things you can be good at, and so I just try to focus on the ones I know and stay current with.
John, thanks very much.
Okay, you're welcome. Thanks all.
So we're here at ITExpo, the Future of Work Expo, and we've run into our old friend David Maldow of Let's Do Video. How's everything going, David?
Good to see you. And we literally did run into each other. I got a text from you saying, "Did I just see you walking down the hall?" I'm like, "You're here." So great to see you.
Yeah, I keep forgetting that when I come to Florida, I have to ping you to let you know that I'm around and in your space. So this has been an interesting show. Same as ISE a little bit this year. No revolution, just a little bit of evolution. We just saw a presentation from one of the manufacturers here, and you and I both had the same comment. It's like nothing new. We saw all that before. I guess that's kind of from our space, from collaboration space. That's where we're going, right?
Nothing new, but to be fair, all really good stuff. I mean, it was more exciting the first time I heard about it, but it's all really good stuff that I think it's not, it seems like it's always hype when you hear a keynote. Our new stuff does all this wonderful stuff. This wasn't just hype. This is stuff that's really going to help the future of meetings. I'm excited about it. Even the second time, I'm excited about it.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things we're starting to see as a theme from a lot of the manufacturers is how do we process the video so that we make it look better, whether they're doing it in the cloud or doing it at the endpoints, which was actually the subject of the session that I moderated the other day, which is, how much should be in the endpoint. Believe it or not, the consensus for most of the panelists there were that most of the AI should be at the endpoint and not in the cloud because the speed is not going to work out. I mean, I don't know if how you feel about that, but should most of the AI be now processed at the endpoint once we have that power?
I guess it depends on the use case, but there's a lot of good arguments for it. I mean, just take, more strain off of our cloud, more strain off of our servers, and the devices, it doesn't take that much of a chip to make a device smart. We got great chips these days. Why not have the intelligence at the end?
Okay, so I guess you and I are both gearing up the next big show after this one. Well, we have a big one coming up in New York as you're watching this, but the big one after that is going to be Enterprise Connect. We'll both be in Orlando at the wonderful alligator snapping Gaylord Palms. Who are you looking forward to seeing there?
This is my favorite event. This is the event for us. I feel like a lot of events have a section for us, and this is all about us. I love it. So I'm excited to see everyone. This is funny, I'm always excited to see my fellow analysts and press. I should hate these people. They're my competition, but I love them. It's the best discussions, the best times. And of course, the vendors that I cover. I've been doing a lot of videos recently with Aver and Crestron, so I'm going to be happy to see the people in person that I've been working with remotely. And yeah, just happy to see everyone there.
And you're doing, although you haven't been on the last couple of weeks, you've been doing some pretty regular webcasts with our buddy Tim. Tell everybody about that and where they can find that.
Yes, if you go to letsdovideo.com/live, you'll see all of our live streams. We do it every other Friday. And we skipped last Friday because Tim was out of town. But yeah, just go to letsdovideo.com and you can see the history of them. And we usually have a link to the next coming one. I just remembered, I forgot something about Enterprise Connect that I want to mention. Aircraft has reached out to me and asked me to host something that's going to be happening, I think, on the Wednesday. You'll have to check my website to get the details, but they're setting aside a booth as a networking conversation area. And they're setting aside time, I think it's going to be 2 o'clock on Wednesday, but we'll check, that the topic's going to be the future of meetings, making better meetings, and I'm asked to host it. So if anyone wants to stop by, there's just going to be a crowd of people, hopefully a lot of end users, vendors, analysts, and we're just going to have a free ranging conversation, like a little cocktail hour without the alcohol. Maybe there will be some alcohol there. You never know at Enterprise Connect. And I think it's very cool that they're coming up with new fun things to do. This is a great idea. Who knows? It might not work. It might be awkward. It might be amazing. But, big cheer to the Enterprise Connect team for trying cool stuff like this and for asking me to do it. I'm really excited about it.
Yeah, Eric's been doing an awesome job putting together the planning for this year and really reaching out to people, finding out what would be interesting. So I agree with you. Kudos to him. And he's going to be on this show, I think, 2 weeks. I mean, I'll announce it specifically, but he'll tell us what to look forward to, some of the new changes and some of the things that are going on to make that a wonderful experience. So I will be there. You will be there. Everybody will be there. Between now and then, if somebody wants to reach out to you, Dave, how can they get you?
Find me anywhere on the web at Let's Do Video. Let's Do Video on Twitter, or David Maldow on LinkedIn, and letsdovideo.com.
Thank you, David. Always a pleasure.
Thanks. Take care.
So that's it for this week's brief show. I wanted to give you a glimpse of what was going on while we were here at ITExpo. Thanks very much for joining us as always. Next week is the very big IMCCA Collaboration Week in New York, and hopefully I'll be able to get you some video from there, and be interested to take a look at everything that we're discussing there. For now, again, this is David Danto. Thanks a lot. We'll see you next week.